Hello, I'm Edgar Fernandez from Pharmaceutical Safety Limited, located in Brantford, Ontario, Canada. The title of this video is Process Safety Culture, the Forgotten Element. Um, Currently, the risk-based process safety program is the RBSP, has 20 elements in 4 pillars. And one of the pillars is process safety culture. I call it the forgotten element because many times we focus too much on the technical aspects instead of the leadership, the leadership, the people, or on the human relations aspects to implement these type of programs that are very important. Recently, it has been found that there is a lot of there is a lack, there is a gap between top management and middle management regarding on process safety. Um, or actually new companies that are trying to implement these type of programs, they are going what the top management thinks about it, without without any reference to say if we are doing okay or not, or we are going in the right track. So actually, in the following slides, I'm gonna talk in more detail about this. Also, on this, the current situation now, it's like I said, there is a disconnection, and there is no actually a culture on process safety. That's the reason why we have a lot of incidents in the industry regarding on this. You can call it, you can name it process, combustible dust, flammable liquids, toxic chemicals, etc. And you can say, yeah, it was you blame the operator, it was a lack of technical knowledge of an engineer, etc., etc. But at the end, um, when when you perform the incident investigation deeply, you find that this is one of the key elements, that there is a disconnection, or even worse, there is a lack of culture regarding on process safety. Um, but people who hasn't listened my videos in the past, well, I'm Edgar Fernandez. Our mission in the company is we help companies to achieve safety compliance, to increase productivity, and create a win-win work culture. I have 23 years of experience in process and occupational safety areas in the pharmaceutical, manufacturing, oil and gas industries. Currently, I hold a professional engineer designation in Ontario and Alberta. I'm a certified registered, I'm a Canadian registered safety professional and a certified safety professional in the United States. I hold a bachelor degree in chemical engineering. There is a definition of the process safety culture actually. In 2001, in the international conference in Toronto, David Jones, that is the author of Turning the Titanic, the 3 cases history in cultural change. He defined that process safety culture is a combination of group values and behaviors that determine the manner in which process safety is managed. That's a very important definition. Actually, has 3 components that we want to see on the next slide. But having the interpretation or a background, what he's maybe what he's saying is, I'm facing in many occasions that a simple question that when you ask top management, I would say CEOs, vice president, and presidents, what is the value that you're gonna have in process safety implemented in your company? And they don't answer. They cannot answer this question. Actually, they hesitate to answer, and they go quiet. And that's something that I'm worried about, because how I mean, the question is, you are believing that you need to have safety in your company. That's the, the primary question. And when you don't know what values they're gonna bring to your company, well, you can say many great things about safety, but you can answer that question really doesn't matter because you are not convinced. And it's something that I'm seeing a lot. It's not more than convincing, but it's more that, yeah, we are doing things great here, but when you don't answer this one, you are evidence sometimes yourself, and that is not fair for you, not fair for the company, and then actually Your duty is to protect the business. As a cold truth sounds, but it's reality. Behaviors, what type of behaviors we have? We jump procedures every time that we need to rush production, or we don't listen the expert people regarding on certain topics because we don't like it. I'm seeing that it's a human behavior, right? It's something that the reason why this presentation is pointing in that direction, because it's not only the technical aspect, it's much about the relationship as well. And this definition, like I said, includes three characteristics. One is, what do we do things around here? Very important. So one of the questions that we need, that you guys, people who are in those positions is, how do we do things around here? You can say, great, yeah, in base of what? So always you need to have a reference. We need to have a standard of reference to say we are doing great, we are doing so, we are doing 50%, or we are doing 100%, or we are doing 80%. But nobody's doing 100% always. They are changing regulations, something to fix, something to train, somebody to train, etc. So there is a living system, we're saying that that's the proper way to name it. That's the right way. It's a living system. But always we need to have the reference to compare if we are doing great or not. So that's the first one. If you're gonna say you are doing great, nobody can challenge that, but only you can challenge your own answer by saying using a reference to say in based on what I'm doing great. The second question is, what do we expect here? And it's the reason why I started my presentation with with this call through. I call it that way. Is what type of values? What do you expect? How you envision yourself in 3-4 years regarding our business? As a global company, right? Taking all the aspects of your business, how you see yourself in 3-4 years. And if safety is not there, and you don't know what type of value safety is going to add it, well, I can tell you how you're going to see we're going to see you in 3 years, maybe with a lot of incidents, no incident investigations. And actually, I'm going to give you an example on this one, on these two. The first one, how do we do things around here? It's very simple. Pharmaceutical companies, they are under CGMPs and ISOs as well, ICHQ10, and manufacturing companies, they are under ISO 9001. Okay. So these two systems, they ask you to measure deviations, right? So there is a very simple measurement that you're gonna know you are doing great or not. So how many deviations you have per batch? That's gonna give you how many deviations you have per year, in certain numbers of batches. If you are having more deviations than batches produced, you are in troubles. So your quality system is broken. Therefore, your process safety or your safety management program is broken too. And it's simple. You're not taking care about your quality. How are you going to take care about your safety? That's another call through. That's another indicator. And believe me, on my 23 years of experience, I'm seeing that. Companies, they have had a lot of deficiencies in the quality system. Their safety program is bad. And it's because it's like, what is the commitment on what do you expect here? What do you see yourself in 20 years? What do you see as a CEO, or as a president, or as a vice president? How you see your division perform in 3-4 years? So you take care of one system, for sure you're gonna take care of the other ones. But the main one, that is quality. So why you gonna take care of the other ones? So there is a relationship. between quality and safety always. Why? Because it's the base of the business. It's simple like that. I mean, it's the base, right? Um, uh, the, how you can tackle that deficiency. So, okay, what type of value you're gonna implement in these programs? So not only on the side of the safety, or not only on the prevention of incidents aspects, only you have a based approach. So you're gonna detect or you're gonna identify deficiencies way before you put new batches in manufacturing, or you escalate experiments to the commercial industry, to the commercial scale in the manufacturing facility, because you have this type of approach. So you have a systematic approach, you have a systematic um, process that you can identify these type of aspects, and you know what values what value you're gonna add at the end of that. The number three is how do we behave when nobody's watching? So an example, um, have you go have you gone to see what your operators are doing at between 1 to 3 4 a.m. early morning, right? 1 to 3 4 p.m. a.m. sorry, nobody's watching what they are doing. This approach can sound as a policeman at the beginning, but it really is not, because you're gonna find something interesting here. And the interesting thing is, if your operators or your subordinates are believing on you, that's another call true. Because if they are not following procedures, believe me, they are not believing on you. They are not believing on the procedure. Therefore, they are not believing in the company. They go only to cash the check, the paycheck. At the end, that mentality is going to bring you a lot of headaches and a lot of incidents as well. Situations that maybe you don't want to be involved. Fines can be, I mean, if you have a serious incidents, well, maybe you're going to have the government involved, and then you have fines or penalties imposed, and depends of the severity, maybe jail time to the CEO or president, for sure. That's the regulations, the provincial acts and regulations in Canada work, and I think the same in the United States. So these three questions on that definition, they are very important to answer. It's a very deep uh, exercise to see, to review and say what we are doing, how we are doing things here, we are doing okay or not. And that's the important thing to answer, but we focus more on the technical aspects, but there should be a connection. This is a system, right? It's a system that is managed by people. It's leading by people as well. So it's you are dealing also with human behaviors as well. So it's very important to give direction to our subordinates. Obviously, I, by having said the things that I said on my previous slides, um, I support these two reports. So I must read an experience also. So I would say I must read for CEOs, presidents, and vice presidents for a PSN covered companies. There are two reports that they talk about the lack of the process safety or a safety culture. One is the drilling rig explosion and fire at the Macondo well created by the Chemical Safety Board, and the another one is the North Sea Alpha disaster. That this case, the second one is used. It's been used in the MBA programs, analyzing company cultures. What type of problems you can have if you don't have a good working culture in your company. So it's a case of a study actually, and the first one is the same. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna attach the links on the comment sections and on LinkedIn or Facebook, or on the description section of the YouTube channel. But it's good reports to read actually. and they talk all about the things that I'm talking here. And with these two incidents that occurred in the 90s. Well, elements of the process safety culture. Obviously, there are elements. The first one is establish a process safety as a core value. What value are gonna add? So you define the value added. Describe, actually write down what's the value added of having these. That's your core value, right? Provide a strong leadership. This is very important. Um, Leadership is not on. It's not. We make the mistake to say people on the top management positions are leaders. Well, has been demonstrated that is not the case. I'm not criticizing those people because I don't know them, and I'm assuming they are doing a good job. But it's different to, and they know better than me, that lead people is different than manage resources, or right. You manage salaries and you influence people. That's leadership. So it's providing, actually strong leadership is providing direction, where we need to go, how we need to do it, and what's gonna be the results expected, the expected results on having these type of programs. Establish and enforce high standards of performance. By having said this, as you have a serious problem um, on process safety, what you're gonna do? You're gonna stop process. You're gonna stop production. How fast you're gonna act? Um, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. MOCs, management of change. The management of change obviously manage that change that is coming from modification on existing equipment or process, or bringing new equipment or new processes to your facility. So how are you going to manage those changes? You're going to manage those changes when you start producing, or you're going to start managing them before producing, actually before when you start scoping the project, right? Designing the process, expecting the, designing or drafting the new equipment is when you start that, because you involve all the departments as well. Document the process safety emphasis and approach. So it's how important it is to follow the procedures and how we want to approach it. So it's a system that, okay, we want to approach this problem based on risk from the risk point of view. Management of change actually can provide that. It's okay. Management of change, actually, there are along with pre-start safety reviews. So you are emphasizing and you are approaching correctly process safety. It's one of the elements of process safety, but it's one of the most important elements. Empower to individuals to fulfill the safety responsibilities. So if somebody comes to you as a supervisor, as a manager, as a director, say, okay, I have this problem, I consider this is a safety, what we need to do, and you don't listen to that person, well, he's not going to fulfill the safety responsibilities. One of the responsibilities of everybody is to report and let the supervisor know that you have safety issues. So believe me, you don't listen people regarding on this, they won't come to you again, and then you're going to have an incident because the trust has been broken. Defer to expertise. Nobody knows everything. So you need to defer to expertise. And one one of the videos that I put on my channel is about competency. And believe me, I'm seeing this when professional engineers with PhDs, they are trying, or they have tried to lead process safety, and they have failed. And it's sad to see that, because these programs, you don't learn them in 5 months. You keep learning actually them, but all your life. And also remember, competency is training as well. People who are people who are dedicated to this type of programs, they have had training a lot. They have been exposed to many process safety issues. They have been in conferences, most of them, because I had the opportunity to work with them, 40 years of experience. They are considered, those people, as national experts, and I have the opportunity to work with them. And there is a reason why they call national experts. It's not because they have the degrees. Well, it's important to have the engineering degree. Don't get me wrong. I'm not having anything against you have a PhD or a master's degree in chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, but that doesn't make you an expert, because these people, they have the same degrees, but they have a lot of training. They have been exposed to many problems, to many issues they have fixed properly, and they have read a lot, they have studied a lot, and that's the reason why after 40 years they are considered national experts. There is a reason why. And if you don't have an expert people leading these programs, people are gonna get frustrated. And they get frustrated for one thing: lack of direction. We are adults, and we need some. When you manage adult people, is the first thing is you need to give them direction where we want to go. Remember those 3 questions that we started this presentation. So ensure an open and effective communication. An example. So obviously these programs, they work on multidisciplinary teams. So when as a process safety engineer, obviously you say this cannot be done because this regulation, because this code, or because this standard. Well, one of the things to have an open and effective communication is, okay, we cannot do this in this company because of this regulation, and then you give them the regulation, the section of the regulation that you are coming from, to give the opportunity to the other peers to interpret that as well, and then have it that healthy discussion. Because at the end, you're gonna build 2 things: is trust and relationship, and the third thing is you're gonna come with a better solutions. So at the end, they're gonna see the process safety people as a support, not people that are working against them. Establish a learning environment. So remember the video that I put the 3 core competences in process safety. Well, one of the things is incident investigations. That is learning environment. So you need to communicate what results or what actions that are coming from those reports, those incident investigations. We need to communicate that to let everybody know what happened, and then learn from that experience as well. Foster mutual trust. We say, actually, I touched that point already. Timely response to process safety issues and concerns. So like I said, if something is reported, an incident, what happened when you have an incident, well, I want to give you an example. What you're gonna do when a reactor disk of the reactor blow out? You're gonna stop. You're gonna change the reactor disk and continue process, or you're gonna change the reactor disk for sure, and you're gonna stop the process a little bit, and you're gonna do the investigation, and you're gonna find out what happened and fix that deficiency. Obviously, you're gonna do that. So that is timely response to process safety issues and concern. That you are sending the message to the rest of the people that you are taking this type of incident seriously, and you don't want anybody to get injured. You don't want environmental spills, or you don't want toxic related incidents. So that's the way to do it. And provide continuous monitoring performance. It's indicators. In some companies, actually, I was reviewing this type of programs, the performance of these programs every 3 months, every quarter, to the steering committee with their directors, sometimes vice presidents. And I was reviewing with my peers every month to follow up these maintenance programs, review of procedures, training programs, actions from incident reports, or actions from hazard reports, etc. So it's something that we need to keep monitoring every time to see the compliance of that, the implementation of that. The same for following MOCs, management of change. What is the status of the MOCs under implementation? It was implemented, okay. Now we have inspection, we have the audit from the Joint Health and Safety Committee. They have approved to go with the chain, to start production, etc., etc. That is giving you more credibility. Um, and believe me, giving you more credibility, you're gonna have more in the real life. You're gonna have more hazard reports and incident reports. So you can eliminate the lost time incidents, yeah, for sure. I'm seeing that. They're still having recordable injuries, but no lost time injuries. So at the end, it's human behavior, and that's the reason why I started saying that most of the time we focus on the technical aspect, but this element, this process safety culture is so important. It's the connection. It's a gap nowadays in some companies. So, and it's not, and it's not the fault of the top people and top management people. At the end, they need to establish the system because they need training as well. Not the training exactly like, oh, we want to talk about NFPA 30. Well, no, not in that way. But that is the general aspects of how the facility works, and then the facilities are under process safety management, and what we need to comply on this case. So the CEO or the president needs to he's gonna know what he's facing. I'm not saying I mean, he doesn't know. Yeah, this is the nature of the process, and this is something that we need to do because this is the highest standard of the company. Simple like that. It has been defined in that way before, so we continue doing that. That's all the elements on the process safety culture. So in conclusion, we need to answer the three questions. What do we do things here? What do we expect, and how do we behave when nobody's watching? Three important questions. Like I said, the first one is in base of what? What is your standard to say you are doing great or not? What's the second one is what values you're gonna add to your company, to your business? And the third one is okay, what when nobody's watching me, I'm believing in safety, I'm not believing on that. What's the status of the current status of you people in that way? Um, and the next video, actually, I'm gonna continue with this topic, but now from standards. So the second component of the process safety culture, or the commitment to safety, to process safety, codes, standards, and regulations. And I won't mention any regulation in particular. I wanna mention only the importance of that and the aspects that we need to cover on that one. Like I said, I'm gonna add on the comment section or on the description of this video the two reports that are in PDF that I think is a must read for people in top management, regarding on the incident that had occurred in those two locations, and the final finding was that the no lack lack of safety culture. Thank you very much, and I appreciate that you are watching my videos. I hope that I'm helping the community, and I want to thank especially people from Apotex. They are watching my videos a lot, so I appreciate that. Hopefully they are helping you guys. You know where you need to contact me. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.